Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Jojo Regina about Where The Crawdads Sing. Thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
No, it's really exciting. It's cool because you did a few interviews like a couple of, days before the film was out. Now the film is out and everything. How's it been knowing that a lot of people have been able to see the film so far?
Oh, it feels amazing. I really love the movie, so I'm glad that everybody else likes it too.
Absolutely. I find it interesting because you play a young version of a character. You play in a flashback and everything. What was that like, kind of playing in a flashback specifically?
Well, it was really awesome because I've seen all these movies with where they flash back to the kids, and then you keep on to watch the kids, and then you show the adults. So, but it was a lot of fun because I got to meet a lot of amazing people.
Yep.
And Daisy, who was playing the older Kaya, we had so much fun together.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of scenes involving nature in the woods. What were the scenes in the woods like specifically filming?
Well, first of all, it was hot. It was very hot there. I had this scene where I was on the aluminum boat, and it was in the middle of the marsh, and there were very little shade. And it was 100 degrees outside probably. I felt like I was being a baked potato in an oven.
And that was you driving the boat. You learned how to drive a boat for this movie, right?
Yeah, I got to learn a lot of new things. I learned to drive a boat. I learned how to make grits and dig mussels.
Absolutely. Well, you got to tell me more about driving the boat. What was that like specifically? Were there any lessons in your days on set where it's just 45 minutes just with the boat? What was that like?
That was awesome. I got to learn how to T-dock and finger dock. So there's this one where you just go straight up into the dock. And there's this another one where you go up into it and then you turn to the side. So I probably spent an hour or two doing that. And then we'd, go back to some other rehearsals with Daisy or with Garrett inside this little house. But it was amazing inside that little house because there was air conditioning there. And most of the time on set, we were outside and I was barefoot. So I got to be in that little room for probably the first part of the day.
Yep.
So I wasn't sweating when I got to set.
What were because you're outside a lot, right? When you were in the woods, were there a lot of bugs or it wasn't too bad?
Well, actually, there were a lot of bugs. There were a lot of dragonflies.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I did not get as many mosquito bites as I do just sitting around in my house. Well, I probably felt 4 mosquito bites in the 3 months that we were shooting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I feel but sometimes you're also in the zone, you're focused, maybe there were mosquito bites and you're just not thinking about that, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When I was in the boat, there was this crocodile, alligator, which one? Are in the marshes? I don't know, one of those things.
Yep.
And it was coming up to the side of the boat, and I looked at it, I was like, it looked at me like it wanted to eat me. But I was like, you know what? Kaya is around these every day.
Yes.
So you're going to have to get used to it.
So did you know, when you were auditioning and when you were cast, did you know that there was going to be a lot of those scenes, in the woods with wildlife? Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I actually thought there were going to be a little more scenes inside since there was Kaya's house and all, but that had no air conditioning. But there were these little black tents, that had the little fans in them.
Yeah.
So when we weren't shooting, we were in there, but I thought there were going to be some more inside scenes, but I knew that most of it was going to be based outside because it was a marsh. The marsh there, oh my gosh. It was in Louisiana. And the marsh was just so beautiful. Yeah,
no, absolutely. When people say, I don't want to go into big spoilers or anything, but there are some emotional scenes in this. You have some very emotional scenes. So What was that like kind of preparing for those scenes, knowing it's going to be very emotional for everyone filming, but for people seeing it at like in the theater, it's going to be emotional. What's that like thinking about that?
Well, when I prepared for it, I kind of just like use my imagination, and I thought I do a little couple different things. First, I think about like what Kai is going through and how she would feel. And then I just think about some sad things that happened in my life.
Mhm.
And most of it was just me using my imagination.
Yep.
But every time before I would do a sad scene, I would listen to like one of these Taylor Swift songs
Mhm.
that made me like, feel emotional sometimes when I was like having a hard time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's pretty cool too with the tie-in with the Taylor Swift song and everything, because you also enjoy music as well and singing as well, right? So
Yeah.
what was that like, kind of hearing that song for the first time, like the Taylor Swift song for the movie?
Oh my gosh, when I first heard it, I was like, oh my goodness. She wrote a song just for this movie. And now I listen to it like every day. And it was just awesome. I wish I could have seen her on the red carpet, but I didn't get to see Taylor Swift on the red carpet. I really wanted to.
Do you like
But,
do you enjoy both? Like, do you enjoy, music and acting, like singing? Like, do you enjoy it all, or is there one you like more than the other?
well, I think I enjoy it all, but I think my favorite thing is acting.
Yeah.
Because I get to meet a lot of people when I'm acting.
Yep.
The amazing thing about the song was like most of it was using the old instruments that was in Kaya's time. So I was like, oh my gosh, that must have been hard, but it made such a beautiful song.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask, were there any, maybe not a prank, but is there anything funny, any funny stories you can share with me on set, any pranks, anything happening? Because you're in a marsh, so I mean, you mentioned the alligator, the crocodile, and I'm wondering maybe someone would have done a prank with that or something. But anything specifically happened funny on set that you could tell me?
Well, everybody had their own actor's chair.
Yeah.
So I was just going into all the tents and like sitting at their chairs and doing this. So I was just taking pictures with all the chairs and like making silly faces. And then with
You have to put
Garrett?
you have to get a scrapbook and
Yeah.
give it to everyone, and they can go through all of it.
And most of them didn't even know I was like taking pictures with their chairs until we like posted the pictures and they were like chair. But I also had some funny times with Garrett because after like we would do a sad scene, he would play like funny cat videos and fart noises. So that always made me really happy.
I just interviewed him 2 days ago, actually.
You did? Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I did. It's so funny too that this interview got confirmed. It's like
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, it was really cool. No, it's those are scenes. Like I said though, going back, those like there's a lot of intense scenes, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things too where you got to work with a lot of amazing people, right? Because
Yes.
it like was that one of the best things about working on Where the Crawdads Sing, the people you got to work with?
Yes, that was the best part. I got to actually meet Delia Owens, who wrote the book, and we were on the beach set because we were doing a beach with the seagulls.
Mhm.
We were doing, sorry, not a beach with the seagulls. We were doing a shoot with the seagulls. So afterwards, I got to get a Polaroid picture with her, like a little, and I got to meet her and we talked, and she was really sweet.
And people are aware also you also met Reese Witherspoon.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, like all the people. I probably say this for like all the people now. They're probably the nicest people I ever met. When
Absolutely.
I first met Reese, we were in Video Village,
Mhm.
and they had an entire snowball cart come to set. So we were all eating snowballs, and that really cooled everybody down.
Oh,
Sadly,
absolutely.
there was no snowball fight.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that,
Yeah.
that might have been my next question. Like, okay, and tell me about the snowball fight.
would have been awesome though. It would have been cool if they had just like a day where we could like put on these like suits over our clothes so we could just throw snowballs at each other.
Did Garrett, because you said there was a lot of like jokes and everything, did Garrett tell you any like dad jokes at all? Or any, like, did you guys share jokes?
I think he told me the lettuce joke, you know, where he says, knock, knock, who's there? Lettuce, let us in.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I just like say that joke all the time.
I have a joke for you that you could use. Why shouldn't you trust stairs? Because they're always up to something.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's a good joke. Yeah.
You can
oh my
use.
gosh, my family's gonna be hearing that joke all week.
Yes, it's a good. There's a lot of different jokes. There's so many jokes like that. That's probably my favorite one because everyone always laugh. Or why did the basketball leave the movie theater Where The Crawdads Sing? They had to bounce. They had to leave. They had to.
Oh my gosh, I have one.
Go for it.
So there were two like windmills. What are they called? Like they stand in the field. So there were two windmills in the field. And one asked the other, "What's your favorite kind of music?" And the other one says, "I'm a big metal fan."
That's really good. I might use that. Do I have permission to use that? Because sometimes I tell jokes. I could use that. Great. That's a really good one.
You can use all these jokes.
That is awesome. Last question before we wrap up. Like you mentioned, Delia, Owens, like massive book. Like I haven't met anyone that didn't know the book. You know what I mean? Like maybe they didn't read it, but they knew about it, right?
Yeah.
Were you able to just not think about that and just kind of do your thing? Because there's going to be pressure and excitement because it is based on a massive book, right? But like, how did you kind of like just block that out a little bit, just focus on the film? Was it difficult?
Well, it was difficult sometimes, you know, because of the emotional scenes.
Yeah.
But mostly I was just super excited. And I didn't really think about being scared. I didn't ever really think about being nervous or anything because I was around a bunch of amazing people. Mm-hmm. And I just mostly just felt like if I was super excited, you know, I can just go do my thing. Yep. And I was just mostly just thinking about the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to think about it though, right? Because it's such a big book, right?
Yeah, it was such a big book. I think I was like, at first I was a little bit nervous because like it was such a big book. And like they're turning a entire book into a 2-hour movie.
Yes.
So they had to cut stuff out because at first it was a 3-hour movie, so it was super long. But I was just mostly just super excited.
Absolutely. Jojo, thank you so much for coming on Pop Turnitin. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Yeah, so Where The Crawdads Sing in theaters. They can check that out. And there's an Instagram account for you specifically that people could check out as well, right?
Yeah, Jojo Regina Official.
Awesome.
So go there and you'll see me and my baby sister.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Pop Turnitin. YouTube.com/Pop Turnitin for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Jojo Regina and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Pop Turnitin. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Pop Turnitin on YouTube. Be sure to like Pop Turnitin on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.